see Larionov out there. You usually see Messier against him, and that's the way we start. Krutov in across the line for Makarov. Centering pass, Messier back-checking, gives it to Gretzky. Behind the back pass for Lemieux, but it's shot out of there by Fetisov. Now to Larionov. Larionov leaving it for Makarov. He's checked by Lemieux from behind. Now Krutov closing in. Gretzky checked him from behind. And Gretzky winds it around center. They score! Makarov all alone in front of the net. Set up by Krutov. And an early goal for the Soviets.
Doug Crossman at the side of the net let the puck come to him rather than going after the puck and found himself beaten to it. Gretzky clearing it around the net. Crossman is number 2 as Gretzky is decked. Crossman, well, the puck's already in the net, but Crossman had been beaten to the puck. Here's a better view of it. And you can see that Crossman is way out of position. The puck is stripped from him. And Makarov with the goal, and the Soviets lead.
Makarov, 7th of this tournament. So the green unit strikes early, and the Soviets lead. Here's Gretzky shooting it into center ice. Kropp couldn't knock it down. And going back to the Soviets, Kumatov, he leaves it there, and here's the new man in the lineup tonight, Igor Kravchuk, clearing it into center ice. Canada's Mario Lemieux dropping it back to Doug Crossman, number 2, who fires it out of there. Kravchuk, number 29, just 21 years of age, as a matter of fact, turned 21 today, cleared it in. Canada trying to get it out of there. Soviets hold it in. Here's a drive just wide by Kumatov. And Canada then clear it out of there. Fedotov, number 14, back for the Soviets. Into center to Kamensky, number 13. Sidestep to check. Back comes Hawerchuk, flipping it in. And Fedotov is there to clear it away. Bourque tried to hold it in, couldn't. Soviets break out of there. In on the left side, Lomacka, number 23, centered it, but it comes all the way back into center ice. Here's Gusarov, number 3, flipping it. Bourque knocks it down. Bourque to Hawerchuk, dropping it back to Larry Murphy, number 8. Murphy slides it in. And the Soviets, Gusarov, checked by Hawerchuk. Hawerchuk trying to get it to Tocchet, but he was upended on the play. And the Soviets fire it out of there with Remo Bourque of the Boston Bruins back to get it for Canada. To Dale Hawerchuk, leaving it for Sutter, back to Hawerchuk. Scooped in, and Milnikov caught it and held it, and we'll get a face-off.
Soviets leading 1-0.
Now Canada with a line of Doug Gilmour, Mario Lemieux, and Brent Sutter. And Chinoff and Gilmour on the face-off. Gilmour gets it to Brent Sutter. Centered to Lemieux to Gilmour. Shoots, and Milnikov went to his knees to Rob Gilmour. Canada's best chance thus far. Soviets take possession and fire it out of there. Imalev into center ice, trying to get it ahead for Priakin. Fiora way out of the net to clear it, and he cleared it up over the glass and into the crowd, and then some bumping on the boards by Humelap and Sutter after the whistle.
Well, Brent Sutter raising a little hob with Don Koharski. 2 Stanley Cup winners for Sutter. He won't feel the pressure at all in a game of this moment. Of course, also part of the Canada Cup in 1984 and a big star for Canada in the 84 Canada Cup. Just 25 years of age, but 7 seasons already in the NHL. Part of a very big family.
He has a few brothers across North America watching this one tonight. Let's see, there'd be Dwayne and Daryl in Chicago, Brian in St. Louis. Who am I missing? Rich, Ron, plus Mom and Dad and the rest of the Sutters from Viking, Alberta. Puck is cleared on the ice. Here's Doug Gilmour tipping it in. Lemieux went in after it, and Chinoff tied him up, and now Fetisov loses it. Rochefort couldn't get it, and Kasatonov feeds it into center ice for Imalev. Imalev dropped pass back, and Chinoff couldn't control it. Now Priakin can't center it. Priakin still after it. Gets it to number 8, Imalev. Back on the point. Shot by Nemchinov is blocked, and Canada come to center. Gretzky firing it in. Back to get it, Kasatonov. That's Lemieux stealing it, but Nemchinov was there to bat it away. And the Soviets take over, and Fetisov cleared it into center ice. This is Doug Crossman back near his own blue line to Coffey. Back to Crossman. Crossman flips it near the line. Shot right back out by Kravchuk, the newcomer in the Soviet lineup tonight, and that's icing against the Soviets.
Well, there's the latest energy-saving device.
1-0, the Soviets leading. And Larionov from deep in the Soviet zone to center. 3-on-2 break led by Larionov to Makarov. Shoots. You're the save. And he bats that rebound away with his big goal stick. Back comes Canada. Glenn Anderson, number 9. Anderson trying to drop it back. Stelnov intercepts. Right back he comes the other way to Karutov. And it's Crossman clearing it. Makarov held it in. Now he's slammed into the boards by Messier, and Crossman feeds it over, and Rochefort shot it to center. Back is Stelnov. Off the boards to Larionov. Back to Stelnov. Fired it out. Gartner tried to knock it down. Here's Krutov to Larionov. He's checked in back the other way. Comes Howardchuk. Cutting right in. Wide by about a foot. Big burst of speed by Howardchuk. And Gusarov has it for the Soviets. He tried to clear it. Bork held it in. Shot. Deflected and just wide. And Karutov slaps it down the ice to relieve the pressure. That's icing against the Soviets.
Well, Howardchuk with a very, very big chance, and you notice the march he got on the defenseman. You underrate Howardchuk's speed a little bit sometimes, but this time he really got loose, and he just beat the defenseman to the net and then just shot it a bit wide. Stole the puck at center ice. The defenseman now is turned around on the play. That's Stelnov there, and now he's got a big jump on him, and Howardchuk probably had a little bit of room to get around the defenseman and get directly in front of the goal, but he thought he was going to be under a little more pressure than he in fact was. Shot quicker than he wanted to and missed by about 5 inches.
Mike Keenan must feel Howardchuk is hot. He leaves him out there with Gretzky and Lemieux. And the Soviets clear it to center ice. Bork back to get it to Gretzky. Over to Howardchuk. Into Lemieux, who gets pulled down by Bekhoff. And Bekhoff will get the game's first penalty. And Canada will have a power play.
Good chance unfolding for Canada. Bekhoff just hauled his man down. The penalty had to be called.
Here's Coffey to Gretzky. Canada with the man advantage. Back to Coffey. Over onto the other point. Bork centered. It was too hard for Gretzky to knock down. And now the puck comes back into Canada's zone with Coffey back to get it. To Mark Messier. Leaving it there. And here is Bork to Coffey to Lemieux. Mario Lemieux trying to get it to Bork. Comes to Gretzky. Gretzky in the slot. Centered. Oh, and Messier just failed to tip it in. Now behind the net to Lemieux. Mario Lemieux, number 66 to Gretzky. Back to Coffey. Into Lemieux, but intercepted by Kasatonov. And the Soviets, shorthanded, come to center ice. Kasatonov doing a good job. Cleared it in, and Bork is back to get it. 1:08 left in the Soviets' penalty. Bork to Coffey. Soviets have scored a shorthanded goal in each of the 3 games against Canada, so keep that in mind. They shoot it in. Fetisov back to get it, firing it out of there. And Bork will have to chase back. 50 seconds left in the penalty. Bork just slaps it in. And Milnikov out of the goal, handed it right to Anderson. Now to Gretzky. Gretzky cutting in, trying to center. Stelnov broke it up. Now Gretzky out in front. In front, Goulet shot, rebound. Whacked out by Anderson, and Milnikov got a piece of that. And it's cleared away. Again, the puck artistry and the playmaking of Gretzky. Here is Coffey. Into Gretzky. Trying to hit Goulet in the slot. Soviets clear it. Knocked down by Hartsburg. To Gretzky. In front, Goulet upended in the slot. And Gusarov comes out of there. 2-on-1 Soviet break. Coffey trying to get back. Here's the shot. Off the goalpost. Oh, and Gusarov. Now they put the red light on.
I think it went in the net.
Gusarov indicated he had scored, but the red light did not come on. Then it did. And let's see what Koharski rules here.
They're signaling the face-off at center ice. I thought it went in the net and came out. But the light did not go on, and then it came on very briefly and went out again. Koharski has signaled there's a goal, and we've got a Now let's take a look at it here now. Off the post, right there and right inside the net. So it went all the way around and came back out. So you're right, it did hit a post, but then rattled around inside the cage before coming out.
2-0, the Soviets lead. Here's James Patrick trying to feed it to Doug Gilmour. Poked away by Milnikov. Sutter in to get it, and now Prigokin, number 22, into center to Nemchinov, number 12. And that's offside at the blue line. 2-0, the Soviets lead. That last scoring play, Gusarov unassisted at 7:04, just after the Soviet player, 5 seconds after he had come back onto the ice from serving a penalty, so it wasn't a shorthanded goal. But an early jump for the Soviets, a 2-0 lead. Here's Fetisov clearing it into center ice. Messier knocks it down. Got it into the corner. Fetisov now to Makarov, to Larionov. Larionov leaving it for Krutov. He's checked by Anderson. And Anderson and Gardner try and wedge it out of there on the boards, but play is halted. And the faceoff will come at the Team Canada blue line.
Brought back in over the line with players trapped as we look at Glenn Anderson, bothered by a knee injury early. And that's maybe the first good body check of the period as he nails Krutov right up against the boards there. Puck came out over the line, came back in, and that produced the whistle. Shots on goal, Canada with 5, Soviet Union 3. Have scored on 2 of the 3.
Here's Makarov. Makarov beating Fetisov, closing in. Gucci scores! Fetisov from Makarov. It's 3-0 for the Soviets.
Oh, the mastery and the wizardry of Makarov, who hung on to that puck, and then just gave it right here. And the overloading of the zone with Fetisov coming in, he was at a clear path to the net, and it's 3-0. And Canada is in shock here at the 8-minute mark. The Soviets have just completely scored and everything. So Fetisov, on every chance that they have had, they have scored.
3-0, the Soviets lead. Canada in game 1 came from behind a 4-1 deficit to tie it, but it was much later. Here are the Soviets, who are off to the quick start, feeding to Kamensky. Kamensky, number 13, trying to move in. He gets knocked around. Now Bekov, checked by Howardchuk before he could shoot. Bekov again to Stelnov. Hartsburg trying to tie him up. Stelnov still with it. Gets it in front. Pure the save. And then Lemieux cleared it. Gretzky dropping it back. And it's back to Gretzky. Gretzky for Canada. Leaves it for Lemieux. Here's Lemieux. To Gretzky. To Mario Lemieux. Lemieux for Canada. And long reach. Trying to go to a one-handed move. Loses it. And Semyonov had it for the moment. Canada still hold it in. Gretzky looks for Lemieux. Lemieux to Gretzky, and that's broken up. And now Lemieux shoots. Gretzky at the edge of the crease, couldn't tip it in. And the Soviets break up. But now back to the play, a penalty called for cross-checking against the Soviet Union. And Canada get a bit of a break there because the Soviets were breaking out 2-on-1.
I'm not sure a penalty was called on 99 Gretzky with the one side of the net. The other side of the net was knocked to the ice. Canada guilty of overhandling the puck a little bit. Gretzky, what a chance. Simply just, well, he was covered up very quickly right at the side of the net as Semyonov came over. And there's Gretzky going down under the checking. And Kravchuk, the young defenseman, picks up the minor. And Canada really has to score here.
3-0, the Soviets leading. Canada on the power play. They're 0 for 1 in this game tonight with the man advantage, and they're down by 3. Now Messier. Over to Murphy. Murphy moving in, and Canada goes offside at the Soviet blue line.
Mark Messier on the far side getting in a little too quickly. The penalty to Kravchuk at 9:10 for cross-checking. Look at Mark Messier. What a first period he had the other night. Set the tone of the game with his hitting, speed. And while he seemed to slowly run out of steam, he really picked up his own teammates. See See him on the bench. He's a clear leader, not only the Edmonton Oilers, but Team Canada as well.
Canada with the man advantage. Bourque and Murphy the point men with Anderson, Goulet, and Tocchet up front. Puck dumped in by Bourque. Now Anderson digs in against Fetisov. Makarov there to clear it. Knocked down by Canada. Here's Murphy. Shoots. Mielnikov the same rebound. Tocchet scores! Rick Tocchet!
Well, they got him in front of the net. This time there was no finesse at all. Murphy again gets it in the slot. This time he elected to shoot. It got behind Molnikov, and Tocchet, trailing on the play, picked up the loose puck. I thought that Team Canada was guilty of overhandling the puck a lot. Just get the shot, go in and look for rebounds. That's the way you play the game over here. And Tocchet was there, got the rebound, and Canada's got a very important goal on a power play.
Rick Tocchet gets the goal. His third of this series.
Assisted by number 16,
Goulet will get an assist. This will Murphy. Here's Canada with Murphy leading the attack. Trying to get it to Anderson. Broken up. And Homatov, number 15. Homatov into center ice. Gets it to Bekov, number 27. Now to Homatov. Back to Bekov. He's upended by Sutter. And Brent Sutter will get a penalty here. And now Canada will be shorthanded, holding against Sutter.
Canada's really got the edge in terms of offense. They just haven't been able to get Molnikov. 10-5 shots on goal right now for Team Canada.
But 3-1 for the Soviets. Canada able to clear it out of there. Fedotov back to get it into a zone. Now dropping it back to Fedotov again as Kamensky gave it to him. Return to Kamensky, number 13. To Bekov, number 27. To Homatov, number 15. Now to Fedotov, and his pass across to Gusarov. Tipped away by Messier. Gusarov over to Bekov. Drops it. Homatov checked in. Here's Gilmore for Canada. Gartner shoots right on. Glove save Mielnikov as Gilmore put Gartner in on the right side. Back comes Bekov to Homatov. Homatov around Rochefort moving in. Gilmore trying to tie him up. Now to Fetisov at the point. Back on the boards. Soviets with the power play. Behind the net. Put right through the crease, and Kasatonov missed it at the edge of the crease, and now Homatov down on the ice and shaken up, and that's why play has been halted.
Rather desperate situation for Team Canada as Gartner had been playing that whole sequence without his stick. His stick lying broken down on the ice. Homotov went down to the side of the net with that little shot, which was something more than just a little shot. Trying to get in front of the net. They're prepared to pay the price a little bit. Oh, Homotov goes to the bench. 7-season veteran. And his third Canada Cup. Like Bekov, very small and shifty, but quite a hockey player.
They call him the Soviet rat, huh? I know the...
We never told him.
I know the hit was a little illegal, but the fall was rather dramatic as well.
Well, you see, Bill Barber played. They learned a few things.
3-1, Soviets leading. 57 seconds left in Canada's penalty. Kasatonov back to get it. To Kurutov. Into Larionov, and that play is offside at the Soviet blue line.
Good check at the line. Kurutov took a good shot. This is a good, clean hit. This is what hockey's about. Boom. Two tough guys because Kurutov, he'll take those checks and come right back at you, but so will Messier.
Drain number 11. He is strong.
The guy was on his way back to his feet. The whistle went on the offside.
Still 44 seconds left in Canada's penalty to Sutter. Messier out there against Larionov on this face-off. Well, those two fellas have got to know each other very well during this 1987 Canada Cup. Larionov just gets to know Messier a little bit better as he gives him a jab from the face-off. Bourque trying to clear it, but Tisop held it in. Got blocked by Bourque to Anderson. Anderson tied up by Fetisov. Now knocked away from Anderson. And Canada having to drop back with Larry Murphy. Murphy loses to Makarov, but as soon as Makarov touched the puck, it was called on a delayed offside. 21 seconds left in the penalty. Hartsburg for Canada. Clears it away. Gilmore and Gartner are up front, with Rochefort and Hartsburg on defense. Here's Gartner trying to center. Intercepted by Stelnov. Now to Semak, number 18. Semak shot off of Hartsburg. Rochefort beats Semyonov to it, clearing it. There's Kravchuk pinching in to Semyonov. Now Lomakin back of the net with Semak. Semak trying to center. To Lomakin. Back to Stelnov. Shooting, that's just wide. Bounced in front and Gilmore couldn't get it out of there. Semyonov held it in. Lomakin has it, but now Brent Sutter out of the penalty box. Canada back at full strength. And here's Sutter trying to break away. Sutter gets knocked down. Gretzky follows up. Cleared it in. Stelnov. Bumped by Gretzky. Stelnov flipping it. And into center ice. Semak loses. And here's Howardchuk trying to get it to Lemieux. Semak to Lomakin, and Coffey took it away from him. Trying to get it to Gretzky. Lomakin intercepts. And the Soviets with Kravchuk shooting into Canada's zone. Muir clears it out. Here's Lemieux. Into Howardchuk. Gusarov back together. Clearing it out onto the boards. Priakin shoots it to center. Crossman. Over for Coffey. Now to Gretzky. Ahead on the wing for Howardchuk. And that's intercepted by Priakin. Canada again in control. Stick handling in neatly. It's Howardchuk to Lemieux, but offside is the play at the Soviet blue line.
They're up for it here in Hamilton, Ontario. Really enjoying an absolute sellout. They had a big lineup here at the Copps Coliseum yesterday morning. The final tickets were gobbled up in very short order, and the scalpers have been having a field day ever since.
Here's Team Canada down 3-1. Michel Goulet firing it in. And Fetisov back to get it. Fetisov to Bekov. Now to Kamensky. Kamensky upended, but clears it to Team Canada's line. Coffey fired it back out. Here's Kamensky. Over to Homatap, number 15. He just dumps it in. Murphy back for Canada. Murphy missing Coffey with a pass. Here's Bekov to Homatap. Homatap flips it in. Now Muir giving it to Gretzky. Winding it around under the boards. Fetisov pinching in. Fetisov center, loose in front. Canada come up with it, and here's Lemieux to Gretzky. Gretzky with Lemieux. Upended on the play as Gretzky, and Bekov has it. Now Propp holding it in. Kasatonov back together. Right in front of his own goal to Fetisov. And the Soviet veteran defenseman Fetisov to Makarov to Bekov. Back to Makarov, right in. Muir came out and made a big save. As Makarov was right in at the doorstep. Now a pass to Tocchet, misses him. Kasatonov back together. Almost stolen by Canada on the play as Propp got his stick on it. Now here's Bourque from center ice firing it in. Back to Stelnov. Into Portek is Tocchet. Rick Tocchet. Gets some help from Brent Sutter out in front. They score! Brian Propp hits it in.
I think it may have gone off his skate. It was fired across the goal mouth. Well, it was a bad start for Canada, but they're back in it. Propp is on the goal side at this side of the net. Here's a closer view. Propp is number 26, looks to the right of the net. Now he moves into position. Out comes Sutter, throws it across. Don't get cute. That's the story of the two goals for Team Canada. All they've done, Tocchet again with a great job forechecking, produced the puck. And Propp gets credit for the goal.
Brian drop at 15:23 here in the first period. Here comes the Soviets lead to 3-2. Taka gets an assist. As of course does Brent Sutter. 15:23 the time. Soviets lead has been cut to 3-2. Here's James Patrick. In across the line to Messier to Gartner. Milnikov a save, and Gusarov clears it to Lomakin, who shot it to center. Patrick giving it to Messier. Fired in. Going back, big Gusarov takes a hit from Gartner on the play. And now Semyonov at center. Into Semak. Semak trying to move in, does, shoots. Save by Fuhr on Semak. And then he smothered it.
Mike Gartner on a delayed whistle laid the check of the game. Right here as he just leveled. Well, he didn't level him, but he sure came up against the boards on Gusarov, who's a pretty solid guy.
Imchinov on a face-off against Brent Sutter. Deep in Canada's zone. 4:07 left in the period. Fetisov at the point. Skate save by Fuhr, and then the rebounder just poked away. Ryakin couldn't get it in front, and here's Brent Sutter to Bourque. Now tipped by Hartsburg and fired in by Tocchet. Tocchet has scored for Canada and set up another. Here's Tocchet with a shot wide of the net. Bourque flipping it in, and he flipped it up over the boards at the Soviet bench. So some of the grinders, such as Rick Tocchet, playing hurt but coming through big for Canada.
Well, I don't know who got the worst of this, but Sutter and Tocchet. I think Tocchet probably took the brunt of that check, which was originally intended for Kasatonov back there. Tocchet coming to the bench to shake it off a little bit. There's Tocchet there. Tocchet and Sutter just arriving at the bench. Boy, that Tocchet, for a guy who's supposed to have a tender knee, is really doing it.
Play just underway. Canada shooting it in. Back to get it. Here's Lemieux stealing it in front to Anderson as Lemieux beat Kravchuk to the puck. Now Anderson. Side of the net to Lemieux. And Milnikov came out and cleared it. Gretzky to Murphy. Murphy shoots up high into the crowd. The Wayne and Mario show starting to gear up.
Murphy had to do that all over again. He would have wished that the puck had come to the stick flat. I think he had a bouncing, rolling puck. He had to cradle first and then tee it up. And then, of course, the defenseman was able to move over.
Talking about Gretzky, or as we look at Murphy, talking about Gretzky and Lemieux, who now lead the ice. I guess you could say Gretzky loads the gun and Mario pulls the trigger.
That's about it. That probably is the best way to describe it.
Here's Canada on the face-off. Patrick firing it around, over to pick it up. Gusarov out to Makarov. Leaving it there for Fedotov, number 14. Marianov cleared it in, but it's offside as Kurutov was in ahead of the play.
Shots on goal continue to be 2-1 favor Canada. 16-8 now. Canada with a total of 16 shots already in this game with 2:57 remaining in the first period. Gretzky, the captain.
No, two different times, Ron, I've seen Wayne Gretzky get 5 goals in a game. I think the best game I've ever seen him play was the other night. He didn't have a goal. He had 5 assists and was all over the place.
5 straight assists. There's a high stick. Makarov on, and an inadvertent one on that. When Anderson was turning at the boards, and puck seemed to, you can see Makarov's reaction. Stick seemed to ride up on the stick of Anderson, cut him across the face. And there's going to be a high sticking call. Makarov, good call. Now here it is. They're still responsible for your stick. And if it gets up above the shoulders, then you have to pay the price, no matter whether it's accidental or not. Well, Canada goes on the power play.
Canada 1 for 2 with the man advantage in this game. Canada's 10th power play goal of the Canada Cup. So Canada with Lemieux, Messier, and Gretzky up front. Coffey and Bourque, the point men. Here's Coffey to Messier. Leaving it for Lemieux. He left it there for Messier. Into Lemieux, back of the net to Gretzky. On the point to Bourque, and then broken up by Larionov and chipped out to center. Bourque has to hustle back. 2:20 left in the first period. 3-2 Soviets. Bourque to Messier. Back to Bourque. Ahead to Gretzky, and he just tips it in. Now Lemieux behind the goal. Krutov couldn't get it. Lemieux back to Bourque. Around to the other side to Gretzky. Trying to tip it to Messier. And the Soviets get it. Coffey held it in. His shot wide. Here's Lemieux. To Bourque, to Coffey. Over to Gretzky. Back to Coffey. Other side to Bourque. Shot blocked by Bekov. Bourque with 49 seconds left in the penalty to Coffey. Stick save, Mildekov. Gretzky to Coffey. Over to Lemieux. Couldn't handle a pass to Messier, who lets it go to Gretzky. On the point to Bourque. Over to Coffey. Now to Bourque with 30 seconds left in the penalty. Back to Coffey. Over to Gretzky. Soviets playing that box. Side of the net to Messier. Back to Gretzky. Now to Coffey. Shooting. Mildekov save. And Mario Lemieux couldn't get the rebound. Now he does. To Messier. Messier shoots from a bad angle. Kasatonov blocked that. We're in the final minute of the period. 4 seconds left in the penalty. Gretzky to Coffey. Over to Bourque. Penalized player back on. Bourque lets the shot go. Blocked. And Krutov cleared it. Now Bourque a shot. Gretzky deflects. Off the goal post with that one. And the Soviets, Makarov clearing the center. Bourque back to get it. Bourque loses. Homatov in the clear. Scores! Homatov on a breakaway. And the Soviets on a late goal take a 4-2 lead here in the first period.
Well, we got back to the problem that I think that Team Canada was in the early stages of the period. They tried to get too cute. And here's Homatov all alone, and nearly a great save by Grant Fuhr, but it trickled over the line. Puck was just stripped away as falling on the play was Bourque, and Homatov had the clear path. But going back to the power play, it's almost like when you get Gretzky and Messier and also Lemieux out there, they want to score the perfect goal. Take a look at the 2 goals that have been scored for Team Canada tonight. It's been on sheer muscle and throw it in front of the net and bang it into the net. Now, we've had Gretzky and Lemieux score great goals in this tournament, but there they were almost like they were looking for the perfect goal, and they certainly didn't get it because the Soviets had played the box perfectly.
Now Canada down by 2 again. 17 seconds left in the period. Krop in there digging on the board. Soviets able to clear it, and Rochefort has to go back. Rochefort just scooping it into center ice. And it goes up over the boards at the Team Canada bench with 4 seconds left in the first period. Homatov unassisted, 1932, the time of that goal.
Well, we've got one of those games again, and don't go away because we've seen leads before disintegrate and go away. And the Soviets had their 3-0 lead reduced to 3-2.
There's a long shot that Mildekov handles, and he heads to the locker room with his team leading 4-2. And immediately Canada clear the puck into the Soviet zone. Makarov is there, number 24. Back he comes, trying to go around Patrick. Tipped away by Canada, and Fuhr away out of the net to clear that. Here's Fetisov trying to hold it in. And again, it's Rochefort with a lead pass to Messier. Kasatonov and Messier. There's Messier trying to center, was tipped away, and Kasatonov gives it to Makarov, who speeds in on left wing. Patrick takes him out of the play. Gartner cleared it. Here's Krutov centering back. Larionov to Fetisov. Stick save Fuhr on Fetisov. Fetisov still with it for the Soviets. Got it in front, batted away by Rochefort. Now Patrick, number 6 from the New York Rangers. Leaving it for Rochefort. Up the middle to Gartner, tipped in. And shot right back out by number 29, Kravchuk. Into center ice. Here's Krutov moving in. Hartsburg dives. to break it up. Now drops back, and Klopchuk is checked by Krupp. Gretzky breaks away with Tocchet. 2-on-1. Gretzky to Tocchet. Banned on it from about 20 feet out. Now Krupp after the loose puck. And it's Homatop breaking out of there. Homatop, number 15, bumped off the puck. Krupp drops it back. Coffey clearing one. And Klopchuk goes back to try and clear it and does. Bekoff. Now it's called on an offside at the Soviet blue line. And that's the way the second period begins.
There's Paul Coffey, been very strong throughout this tournament. Again, his speed is so much a part of his game. A two-time Norris Trophy winner. Quite often he is paired with fellas who have controlled the Norris Trophy the last 3 years. Of course, Ray Bourque won it in 1987.
Canada down by 4-2. Coffey leading it for Greg Hartsburg. Lifted to center. Krupp is checked. Now Coffey picks it up. Canada playing catch-up. Coffey to Gretzky, knocked away from him. And here's Semak beating one to Bekoff. Moves in, shoots. Fjord just got his glove on it. Rebound, Bekoff a shot. Fjord stops that and cleared it away. And Tocchet feeds Gretzky. That's knocked away. Kamensky now for the Soviets, firing it back in. Coffey back to pick it up. Paul Coffey leads a 4-man Canada rush. Fedotov there to clear it. Coffey holding his ground on the boards against Fedotov. Gretzky comes in to try and pry it loose, and finally it's held for a faceoff. Some interesting strategy here by Mike Keenan as the second period begins. He's split up Gretzky and Lemieux. And Lemieux is now out there with Sutter and Goulet. Semyonov against Lemieux on the faceoff. And the Soviets break out of there. Womakin, number 23, against Bourque. Bourque rides him out of the play. Bourque clearing it up to Michel Goulet. Shot to center. Gusarov over to Fedotov. Now to Semyonov, number 30. Fires it in. Semak in after it. Semak to Lomakin. Shot off a skate wide. Here's Semyonov. He's checked, and here's Lemieux. Has Goulet and Sutter with it. Broken up. Sutter the trailer. Centered it, but shot away by Gusarov for the Soviets. Fjord scooping it up on the boards to Murphy. Murphy shot at the center. Fetisov intercepts there. And gives it to number 8, Kovalev. At center now to Fetisov. Upended by Bourque on the play. Priakin into the corner, but Fetisov cleared it around. Kasatonov to Priakin. Brent Sutter ties him up, and Larry Murphy has it. He gives it to Bourque. Back on the wing. Sutter shot at the center. Intercepted by Priakin. Bourque trying to ride him up. Priakin and Bourque. Now Nemchinov knocked down back to the net by Howard Chuck. Here's Kovalev trying to center. Nemchinov to Priakin. And he skated off, and Gretzky tried to chip it out. Soviets hold it in. Here comes Gretzky. Neat move. Gretzky looking to make a play. Gretzky still with it. Checked from behind by Kovalev, who was able to shoot it out of there. And going back is Hartsburg. To Coffey, into center ice to Gilmore, but Kurutov intercepts. He drops it back to Kasatonov. Fired up the middle, and here is Larionov. Hartsburg breaks that up. Feeding Anderson to Messier. Back to Anderson. Kasatonov cleared it. Messier to Anderson. Back on the boards, Kurutov. Has Larionov and Makarov with him. A 3-on-3 break. Pass to Makarov. Flipped in front. Kurutov was there but couldn't make the deflection. Anderson for Canada. Got it outside the line. Carried back in offside by the Soviets.
It would appear that Mike Gardner's assignment is Sergei Makarov. Now take a look at this little play with the knee. Now, Makarov got up and made a play right after that, but he took him out of the play long enough that he wasn't clear when he got up. He wound up with the puck, shot the puck wide of the net.
Now Lemieux out there with Prop and Tocchet for Canada. Here's Rochefort flipping it into center ice. And the newcomer Kravchuk is there to shoot it back up. Now controlled by Stelnov, number 4. Ahead onto the wing. Here's Kamensky moving in. Trying to center to Homatop. Broken up and Canada's Crossman cleared it. Prop sliding it all the way down the ice. And it's grabbed by Milnikov. As then Stelnov and Lemieux bump into each other after the whistle.
Well, Coffey had his problems over a period of time with his skates, adjusting them once again. 4-2, the Soviets leading Canada. I guess it's more his shin guard than his skates. Last year, he had a dreadful time of it through the first part of the season. Just couldn't find a pair of skates that fit him properly. Was in a slump. Got over that, and of course finished strongly and led a team to a Stanley Cup.
Now Canada with a forward line of Howard Chuck, Goulet, and James Patrick up front. Normally a defenseman. Rochefort and Crossman on defense. Howard Chuck gets the draw. Shot by Rochefort, deflects just wide. Milnikov took no chance as it came off the backboards and just smothered it.
Well, one thing when you've got a defenseman up on your forward line in a face-off in the offensive zone, he's the kind of guy who can go right into that goal mouth area. He's used to the traffic in there, and he has to face that kind of traffic defending his own zone. There's a young player who's shown a lot of promise in this tournament. Anatoly Fedotov. Be around for a long time. Plays for Moscow Dynamo.
Just 21 years of age. I think Tikhonov is intense. Yeah. Here's a drive by Canada. Rochefort let it go. Milnikov making the stop back of the net. Gusarov trying to clear it out of there. And it's carried out by Lomakin, number 23. Crossman checked him. Now Fedotov wide with that shot. And Rochefort takes Homatop out of the play with a tough check. Canada can't get it out. Semyonov holding it in. Well wide with that shot. Now cleared in by Fedotov, and Rochefort has it for Canada. Rochefort up the middle to Howard Chuck. He's upended, and he's hurt as Gusarov caught him right at center ice. And Howard Chuck is shaken up. And now Gusarov goes down. I didn't see what happened to him.
Dale Hawerchuk very upset at the hit he took from Gusarov in the center ice zone. Then Gusarov was nailed by Rochefort afterwards as a retaliatory measure. Koharski didn't see that. He was looking at the original incident, and this is why Fetisov is arguing. Watch to the left of your screen here. You'll see in the center ice zone, Hawerchuk is kneed perhaps by Gusarov. Then as Gusarov went down to defend in his own zone, he was nailed by Rochefort and went down himself. There's Gusarov. Another good young defenseman of this team, 23 years of age.
No penalties on either play. Soviets 4, Canada 2. Soviets led 3-1 after the first period of Game 1. Made it 4-1. Canada came back eventually to tie it. Game 2. Canada led 3-1 after 1, and the Soviets came back to tie it. The 2 goals with these teams, differential after 1 period, not proving to be that much. Here's Hartsburg decking Himmelap with a check as he caught him with his head down. Now Priakin racing in. Canada starting to throw their weight around, and it's shot out by Tocchet down the ice. Konstantinov going back together. And it's icing called against Canada.
Well, a couple of great hits. Hartsburg was the one that started it. And Hartsburg in a foul mood with the scoreboard reading 4-2. Well, he said something to him, but good clean hit in the center ice zone. And then a couple of hits down in the Team Canada zone. Here it comes right to your screen. He nailed him, stood him straight up, sat him straight down. And they're going to have to do a little more of that. Looks like they're getting a little mad, and I think probably that may be the best thing that could happen to Team Canada. They played the first period a little less than with total enthusiasm.
Hit, but they better stay out of the penalty box.
That's right. Keep them clean. Keep the sticks down.
Here's Crossman for Canada to Gartner. He couldn't get it out. Karutov has it for the Soviets. Over to Makarov. Rockford bumps him hard. And Canada then clear it out of there. Anderson sliding it to center ice. Now Fetisov passing it up on the wing to Karutov. Rochefort back to get it. Messier, Anderson, and Gartner up front. Here's Messier leaving it for Anderson. He's checked and Makarov breaks away with only Rochefort back. He has Karutov with him to Karutov. Shoots, oh, pure. Just got a piece of that and it trickled off to the corner. And Crossman has it for Canada. Delno pinching in. Now Messier. Messier loses. Makarov trying to carry back in. Crossman tying it up. And a jam up in the corner. Rochefort coming up with it. Flips it out. It hits Makarov as he was going to the bench. Now Crossman cleared once. Delno jammed in there by Anderson. And it's held. And we get a stoppage in play.
On the right there is Larionov. On the left was Karutov, but it's Makarov who paved the way for this play. And the shot by Karutov just trickled through and behind. Boy, they have been dangerous, especially in this game. Dan Makarov, he is having a great hockey game.
When they get a scoring chance, it's a dandy. They seem to be wide open. And that's why the shots on goal don't mean very much. It's the chances they're getting. Beckhoff flipping it in. Pure there to clear it. Lemieux couldn't get it. Stelno held it in. Bourque blocked his shot. Flips it up the middle. And it's shot back in by the Soviets. Now Lemieux and Gretzky are out on the forward line back together with Propp, the other member of that trio. Here comes Murphy into Lemieux. Lemieux cutting in. Lemieux trying to center, does to Bourque. Bourque got it in front. Gretzky in front. And Lemieux was upended. And there'll be a penalty to Beckhoff as he tripped Lemieux at the side of the net. And a Canada power play coming right up. Beckhoff to the penalty box.
Great chance here. Watch Gretzky. Here is the puck rolling loose. Gretzky gets a little bit of a piece of it, rolls it. I don't know how he got that pass away, and then Beckhoff just nailed Lemieux in the goal mouth area. And that drew the tripping penalty. It's the second time that Lemieux has drawn a penalty in this game. I say drawn a penalty. His check has taken a penalty trying to handle him. So at 8:24, Canada goes on the power play, and the crowd here is starting to pick it up once again.
Gretzky up front with Lemieux and Tocchet. Murphy and Bourque will be the point men. Here's Messier or at least Gretzky to Tocchet. Couldn't get a stick on it. Gretzky again. Tries to center. Lemieux was open but banned on it. And the Soviets come back, led by Lomakin. 2-on-2 break. Murphy there to use the poke check. And ties up Lomakin. And Lomakin trying to freeze it. Murphy gets it loose. Larry Murphy. Fires it in. Gretzky comes in. It comes to Murphy. Back to Bourque. Into Lemieux. Soviets go into that box. They drop it to Bourque. A drive and a save by Milnikov. And he held it.
Big thing about this line, the way they've got it now with Lemieux and Gretzky, they've added Tocchet to the line. And Tocchet's the man. He's the designated slot man. He's in there to cause problems for Milnikov. Good play here, and this is the difference. They're getting the shot away now with Tocchet right in front of the net. Gretzky swooping in, looking for any kind of a rebound himself. He's a very important guy in this game so far, Rick Tocchet. He's played a lot of roles, but most of them are the physical roles. And he's been very much responsible for the 2 goals that Canada has. Points on both of them.
Tocchet from Scarborough, Ontario, a key member of the Philadelphia Flyers. 1:20 left in the penalty. Now Gretzky over to question the referee, Koharski, about something. Soviets were on to me tonight when they're shorthanded are playing the box and not playing as aggressively in a shorthanded situation as they did earlier.
They don't want to let them get too much of that game in close.
Here's Bourque for Canada. Into Lemieux. Back to Bourque. Over onto the wing to Murphy. Centered. Tipped away by Makarov. Lemieux. Back of the net to Gretzky. In front to Murphy. Shoots. He scores!
was the defense got spread out here. Tocchet, they started worrying about Tocchet at the side of the net. Murphy wound up getting the puck at the side. As the defense was going the wrong way, on the short side, he put it in, but whether that shot had been blocked or not, it certainly paved the way for a good rebound. And as it was, it found the hole, and Canada trails by just a goal.
Another great setup by Gretzky as Murphy gets his first of this Canada Cup. Comes with 10:40 left in the second period.
The other point goes to Mario Lemieux.
So Gretzky and Lemieux get the assist. Canada within one of the Soviets. Here's Priakin coming in. Coffey trying to take him out. Back to get it. Here's Tocchet. Feeds it to Gretzky. Delnov in to tie him up. And now Gretzky gets it to Coffey. Out for Tocchet, but intercepted and shot back in by the Soviets. Coffey back for Canada. Coffey being checked by Priakin, and Priakin dumps it in. And now Propp has to go back for Canada. Out on left wing to Gretzky. Over for Hartsburg, off the boards for Propp. Brian Propp, number 26, shooting it in. Going back to get it, Propp check. Gretzky stole it, centered, Kamensky intercepts. Soviets come back. Number 13, Kamensky. Lets it go, and that's high off the glass. Right back the other way, Canada with Gretzky. The Coffey to Propp, has Sutter with him. Here's the shot, high and over the glove of Milnicott. Propp behind the net, trying to get it to Sutter. Brent Sutter for Canada. Bekov comes up with it. Now to Homatov. Homatov got it to the line. Rochefort held it in, and Gusarov has it for the Soviets. To Homatov, number 15. Flipped in, cleared out by Crossman. Now Fedotov trying to set up Kamensky. Back comes Crossman for Canada, trying to beat it up to Goulet. Goulet on the left wing boards. Slides it around. Into the corner goes Crossman. Now to Howardchuk. Dale Howardchuk, center to shot. They score! Brent Sutter ties this game up.
The key to this is look at the traffic in front of the net. Out comes the pass. Everybody going for the net, and Sutter with a great shot off the roof. Howardchuk just getting it out in front. Sutter moving in. Glove side. Couldn't put it in a better spot.
Canada comes back to tie it at 4-4. The Soviets at one time led 3-0.
Howardchuk and Crossman will draw assists on this. Here's Howardchuk out in front. Again, that great shot. The feeling is glove side high on Milnikov. You can beat him. He doesn't have a good glove hand.
Brent Sutter's first goal of the tournament. Howardchuk and Crossman the assist. 11:06 the time. Canada 4, the Soviets 4.
Oh, the crowd's starting to take over, too. You can hear them start to build with the Murphy goal. Now they're really going. We've got the coach up on top of the bench.
Canada 4, the Soviets 4, and here we go with Bourque flipping it in for Canada. Racing in was Sutter, but it was whistled down on an offside or a high sticking call, I believe, ruling that the Soviets had knocked the puck down with a high stick.
Canada with a 7-4 shots on goal edge in this period, but again, the shots on goal, as Dan mentioned, not a good statistic in this particular game because the Soviets have had so many good scoring, clean scoring chances. They scored 3 goals on their first 4 shots, and each of them was a good, clean scoring chance.
Now Gilmore, Lemieux, and Sutter, the Canada forward line. Breaking out is Womakin for the Soviets. Poke check by Bourque, and Lemieux right back for Canada. Mario Lemieux trying to leave it there, knocked down, and Semyonov right back the other way for the Soviets. Lemieux gets up limping. Now Gilmore back of the goal. Gilmore trying to clear it out, and now we're going to get a penalty. Back of the play is Lemieux and Kasatonov were making threatening glances at each other.
All right, here's the play. Now there's a slash in here, but watch the skate of Kasatonov. And there's the slash across the back of the leg. I don't think Lemieux appreciated that skate very much. May have been inadvertent, but it certainly was an area where it could have caused a lot of damage.
So the Soviets in this 4-4 game with a man advantage. Slashing against Lemieux. 8:26 left in the second period. Soviets are 0 for 1 with the man advantage tonight. They send out the green unit. Larionov, Makarov, and Kurutov with Fetisov and Kasatonov on defense. Canada with Messier and Gartner up front. Soviets with the man advantage. Rochefort from the faceoff. Tries to clear it out, pinching in, Fetisov to Larionov. Larionov to Makarov, kicks it to Kurutov, and Rochefort checks in. Kasatonov held it in. Over onto the board to Larionov. Back to Kasatonov, return to Larionov. Now to Fetisov, shooting, blocked by Gartner. Fetisov to Kurutov, and Gartner breaks it up again. And then cleared at the center ice. Couple of key plays defensively by Mike Gartner. Here's Kurutov to Fetisov. Now to Larionov. Larionov flips it in. Kurutov cuts in. Big save, pure rebound. And that's chopped away by Crossman for Canada. Larionov held it in. His shot blocked by Messier, and Rochefort shoots it away. And a minute left in the penalty, and a interference call as Gardner gets upended, and an interference call coming up here to the Soviets and to Larionov.
Watch the left-hand side of the screen on the replay, and you'll see Gartner, number 12 for Canada, knocked down right in the center ice zone as the puck was cleared up ice. Larionov. That means that Canada, at the end of the Lemieux penalty, will have a minute and 2 seconds, barring further penalties. They'll have a minute and 2 seconds of power play. Here's Kurutov. Every time you see these guys, you got to get up on the edge of your seat. What a save that was. And then Kasatonov moving quickly in for the rebound, but he was forced into the corner.
Kurutov scored a goal in game 2 in a very similar situation. Each team a man short, copied. Anderson deflected it. Milnikov made the save and then smothers it. 53 seconds left in Lemieux's penalty. 1:56 left in Larionov's penalty for the Soviets.
What a deflection there by Anderson. Taking that shot from the point by Coffey, and all he did was get the heel of his stick on it and steer it right into the padding of Milnikov.
Gretzky getting Coffey positioned properly. Gretzky against Bekhoff on the faceoff. Gretzky gets it into the corner. Gets help from Anderson. Now Stelno over. And he gets help from Bekhoff, who feeds it out to Homatop, number 15. Coffey spun him around. Koharski looks the other way as he figures Homatop took a dive. And it's Hartsburg shooting it in. And he did. Back to get it, number 29, Igor Kravchuk. Out to Bekhoff. Bekhoff trying to get around Hartsburg. Bekhoff to Homatop. And Canada come back. Here's Gretzky. Gretzky trying to get Coffey going the other way. Now a break for the Soviets. 2-on-1. Bekhoff to Humalap, and a stick save by Fuhr on the 2-on-1. Now Lemieux back on. Another shot by the Soviets. Fuhr the save, and here's Lemieux with Gretzky. 2-on-1 break. Big save on Gretzky. As that time it was Lemieux putting in number 99. And Milnikov slid across to make the save. Canada on a power play. 35 seconds left in the Soviets penalty. Now Semyonov firing it in. Back to get it is Bourque for Canada. Raymond Bourque flips it in. Fetisov back after it. That's pocket into Korchuk. Here's Gretzky. Centered. Lemieux in front. Couldn't get the shot off. Gretzky again. To Bourque. Over to Murphy. Into Gretzky. Back to Bourque. Into Lemieux. Across to Murphy. Shooting. Blocked at the defense on a dive across by Fetisov.
Oh, they moved it around again and around and around, and they did set up a play. But a defenseman was the one who took the shot. Fetisov making the save on Murphy. Very nicely set up. There's Rick Tocchet. Big check inside the zone started this. That's Lemieux. Across. Here's Murphy. And the shot blocked by Fetisov, who was down with plenty of time to block that shot. If it had been a Gretzky or a Lemieux, you might have seen a quicker trigger.
Now Larionov is out of the penalty box, so the Soviets are at full strength. 5:23 left in the second period. Canada 4, Soviets 4. Here's Messier on a faceoff. Gets it to Gartner. He and Fetisov battle. And now Krutov to Makarov. Back to Krutov. Upended, and Crossman is there for Canada. Trying to clear it up. Makarov held it in. Over to Konstantinov. His shot blocked. Messier couldn't get it out. Here's Makarov. Back on the point to Fetisov. Centers to Krutov. Shot. Right on and pure. Made the save and held on.
Well, we have had a few dives in this game. Here is one of them. This is the one we mentioned. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Greg Louganis.
On the top was the player who Koharski just looked at him and looked the other way.
I'll tell you something. Both sides are doing a fair amount of that tonight.
Soviets, Fetisov at the point for the faceoff. Closing in, Murphy dives to poke it away. Now Makarov, back of the net, gets it back from Fetisov. Makarov for Krutov. He's checked, Canada clear it. Soviets hold it in, but now carried up by Murphy. As Howard-Chuck and Sutter with him. To Howard-Chuck, shoots. Milnikov the save. Howard-Chuck back of the net, stuffs it in front. Shoots, he scores! Dale Howard-Chuck!
There's an old line, Dan, that says when you hit a guy, you create a turnover. Sutter behind the net was the reason for this play. Here comes the puck into the zone. The shot is going to go off the goaltender, Milnikov. Here comes Sutter. He's going to take the puck away. Creates the turnover. Howard-Chuck, one chance. Comes back out to him. Second shot into the net. And Canada, for the first time, has the lead. His fourth goal of the tournament. Dale Howard-Chuck. But the key again was the slugging along the boards. It's almost like we're watching that big Soviet game in 1984. The sluggers are doing the job at the key time. Tocchet, Sutter. Take a look at the names that are cropping up on the score sheet here tonight. Look at the turnover. Here it comes. There's the big check. And the puck is turned over.
The scoring play, Howard-Chuck from Murphy and Kropp. 15:32 the time.
Sutter does not get a point, but I'll tell you, that guy right there loves him.
Dale Howard-Chuck from the Winnipeg Jets has just given Canada the lead for the first time tonight.
Isn't it amazing? We've seen so much of Lemieux and Gretzky, and suddenly in a big game like this one, grinders are out.
Now a Team Canada line of Gilmour, Tocchet, and Goulet. 4:28 left in the second period. 5-4 Canada.
Isn't it amazing the difference in this hockey game compared to games 1 and 2 of this series? The artistry isn't there. The excitement certainly is.
And a lot of thumping in this game, more than in games 1 and 2. Bourque back after the get the puck for Canada. Passing it to Murphy. Murphy to Gilmour. Too far for him. Gilmour racing in. Got around on the boards. Here's Tocchet. Back of the net. But intercepted by Kravchuk and cleared. And the Soviets work it to Homatop at center ice. Bourque took him out of the play. And Gilmour knocked it to Goulet. And now a high sticking penalty coming up to Bourque as he took Homatop out of the play. And Canada will be shorthanded as Bourque goes to the penalty box.
Canada's penalty number 7, Raymond Bourque.
Don Koharski calling him as he sees him, and he has seen Ray Bourque high stick somebody, and he has called him for it. I wouldn't change a thing the way Team Canada is playing right now. They're getting the odd penalty, but they're also playing the type of hockey when things have gone sour in the overall playmaking of Gretzky and Lemieux is going to win for them.
Soviets on a power play with a forward line of Semyonov, Lomakin, and Semak. White men will be Gusarov and Fedotov. Canada with Gilmour up to win the faceoff. He and Anderson are the penalty killers with Crossman and Rochefort on defense. Gilmour broke the play up. Now Gusarov dropping it back to Fedotov. To Gusarov. Alexei Gusarov up the middle for Semyonov, number 30. Semak centered and Anderson there to tip it away. And then Gilmour cleared it away for Canada. Fedotov, number 14 for the Soviets. A minute 30 left in Canada's penalty. Now Gusarov to Fedotov. Back to Gusarov. Firing to Semyonov. Into Lomakin. Dropped it to Semak, but Gartner intercepts. And Gartner fires it away.
Notice how they're picking up the men right at the line. Something Brad brought up. They're letting the defense back in. They're not doing it anymore.
Here's Larionov as the Soviets change on the fly, leaving it for Gusarov. Now to Makarov. Gartner checked him. Makarov tries again to Krutov. Krutov leaving it for Larionov. He drops it back, and Fetisov couldn't hold it in. 42 seconds left in the penalty. Fetisov to Kasatonov. Kasatonov, number 7. Leaving it for Krutov over to Makarov. Now to Fetisov. Into Larionov. To Fetisov to Kasatonov. Moves in deeper, and Murphy took it away from him, and Murphy clears it out of there. 12 seconds left in the penalty. Excellent penalty killing here by Canada. Larionov now trying. Leaves it for Fetisov. Fetisov flipping it in. Crossman there to poke it away. Gretzky flips it. Anderson able to carry it out, and Gretzky now takes a pass at center ice, breaking in with Bourque. Gretzky shoots one, and that one off a stick high and wide. And back the other way, Makarov. Teams at full strength now as Bourque has served his penalty. Here's Brian Propp. Fans on it as he went to clear it. Now drops it to Rochefort. Over to Crossman. Off the boards to Gretzky. Gretzky dumps it in. Fetisov there for the Soviets. Now cleared out of there by Semyonov. And Kumalev flips it ahead for Priyakin. He gets knocked down by Bourque. And Bourque will get another penalty here. Mario Lemieux arguing about the penalty call, but it's a hooking penalty against Bourque.
Well, Ray Bourque up against the boards. In this case, I'd give the penalty. They may have put a little mustard on it, but he also got hooked. Last time, Bork was off. No shots on goal by the Soviets, so they did a terrific job on the penalty killing last time out, but you can play with fire, too. You want to keep doing this.
Just 1:09 left in the period, so Canada will, if they can get through this first part, the first 1:09 will have a break.
And the penalty killers, who did a pretty good job last time for the most part. Gardner out there. And Rochefort will be back at the blue line.
Doug Gilmour is going to take the faceoff against Bekov.
Who's shown us some pretty good skills in terms of faceoffs this tournament.
Soviets have 4 men inside the blue line. Homatop is away off on the right wing boards, but Gilmour wins the draw, and the Soviets have to go back and regroup. Here, Kravchuk, number 29, giving it to number 15, Homatop. We're in the final minute of period 1. Kamensky moving in. Gardner takes him out. Fuhr out of the net to clear it. Homatop losing it. Gilmour trying to knock it out of there, and did with a volleyball type move, hitting it with his hand, and he hit it up into the Soviets bench. So the faceoff will be back inside the blue line.
Off the Soviet player's head, I think. And so the faceoff will come back inside the Team Canada zone. There's Gilmour. There's some of the players that have really noticeably improved their game as the finals have come on. Gilmour and Brian Propp is very interesting. The overtime period the other night and this game playing very, very well.
Now Messier comes out to replace Gartner, so Messier and Gilmour will be the penalty killers. Now Gartner comes back. And they're going to take Gilmour out of there and leave Gartner and Messier up front.
This is a Team Canada home game, by the way. They have the last change, or whatever it's worth.
Bekov against Messier. 47 seconds left in the period. Soviets on a power play. And they get it to Stelnov, who moves in from the point. Shot it around. Homatop trying to center one. Gartner there to clear it away. Kravchuk, number 29, back to pick it up. Kravchuk was supposed to be out for this series with a knee ligament problem, but he's in there tonight. He feeds it to Kamensky. Into Homatop. Rochefort ties him up. Homatop gets loose. Gartner hacks away on it. Now Bekov to Kravchuk. Shot right on. Kamensky after the rebound. Kravchuk a drive, and that's good wide. And Messier with 8 seconds left clears it out of there. Soviets have to go back. Kravchuk with 2 seconds left clears it up. Second period is over. A good one for Canada as they come off the ropes and take the lead after 40 minutes.
And the Soviet Union are going to play the first 52 seconds of the third period with a manpower advantage.
Here we go at the third period. Hold on to your hat. Canada clear it out as Crossman shot it up on the boards, and it goes over the glass into the penalty box area.
Nearly decapitated Bork sitting there.
Face-off will be about 10 feet inside the Team Canada blue line. Messier and Gartner up front. Rochefort and Crossman on defense. The green unit for the Soviets. Kurutov, Makarov, and Larionov up front. Fetisov and Kasatonov the point men.
How'd you like the job, Dan, of selecting the outstanding player for Canada in this game?
Or in this tournament. Puck cleared down the ice. Kasatonov back to pick it up. Soviets with the man advantage. Up the middle to Kurutov. Now to Larionov. Leaves for Makarov. Makarov poke check by Crossman, and then Gartner got it to the line, but not out. Now Messier does knock it out of there. And Kasatonov with 20 seconds left in the penalty. Over to Larionov. Leaving for Kasatonov. Crossman picks it off and cleared it out. Fetisov to Larionov. 5 seconds left in the penalty. Larionov firing it around. Now Bork is back on. Here's Fetisov, and a poor pass has to be covered up on by Kasatonov, who gives it to Larionov. Larionov to Makarov. He cuts in. Now around Coffey. Got it in front. Fuhr the save. Still loose. Whack at it. Just wide of the net. And Gretzky is back to get it for Canada. Look at Gretzky carry out. Hook check by Krutov. Covering up on the play is Murphy. Murphy into Lemieux, offside at the Soviet blue line.
Well, this is what it's like to be a fan in Hamilton, cheering Team Canada on to what they hope will be a victory.
Howard, Chuck, Goulet, and Tocchet for Canada. Bourque and Murphy on defense. Dumped in by Canada. Howard Chuck into the corner. Gets help from Tocchet to Howard Chuck to Goulet, but he couldn't handle a pass. And back comes Molotov, number 15, with Bekov. And it's broken up by Murphy and cleared away. Number 29, Igor Kravchuk back after it. He quickly fired it out. Goulet carried back in with a couple of teammates already in the Soviet zone, and it's called an offside.
Now Michel Goulet of the Quebec Nordiques, assistant 50-goal scorer in the National Hockey League. And he'll be out there playing on a line with Gilmore and Sutter at this particular time, but now they've called him off. We're going to try a new combination that has Howard Chuck out there.
Semyonov on the face-off against Sutter. Canada taking it. Now Murphy carries in. Firing it in. Gusarov back to get it. The same act, number 18. He just tipped it ahead to Semyonov. Howard Chuck checked him. And Murphy firing it across to Bourque. Bourque for Canada. Dumping it in. Fedotov there with Howard Chuck into check it. Now Semak back to get it. Tocchet ran into Gusarov and knocked him for a loop. Soviets clear it out of there. Trying to rule if Canada could have played it. There's no icing. Bourque back after it. Bourque to Gretzky. Leaving it for Bourque. Up to Tocchet. Into center ice to Brent Sutter, who fired it in. Milnikov making a save, and Gusarov back to get him. Leaves it there. Fetisov loses. To Lemieux to Gretzky. Here's Gretzky. Out in front, backhander. That hit Lemieux. Drop after the puck. Now Gretzky. Centered. Here's Coffey in and goal. Milnikov robs Coffey. On another great setup by Gretzky. Back comes Perbukin. Or Priakin it is. His shot. And a stick save by Fuhr. Mario Lemieux cleared it, not out. But then Coffey picks it up. Has Gretzky and Lemieux with him. Leaving for Gretzky. Gretzky across to Murphy, shot it just wide. As Murphy came in aggressively from the point. Now it's Hartsburg. Into Brian Brock. Up high off the glass with that drive. Canada changing on the fly. Here's a clearing pass to Gretzky. And they whistle that down and outside at the Soviet blue line.
Well, Team Canada seeming to play with a lot more confidence here in the third period. More in control of things, but that's the kind of thing that happens. There's a great play to Coffey from Gretzky. And a pretty good play by the goaltender. Milnikov stuck right with him.
Sergei Milnikov, his team trailing 5-4. And he may have held them in there with that save. Puck shot in by Canada. Anderson in on the boards. Comes to the point, into the corner to Gartner. Gartner trying to get it to Anderson. Knocked away by Kravchuk, and he carries to center. Igor Kravchuk, number 29. Cuts in, shot blocked, rebound. Krutov put it over top of the net. Here's Anderson. He loses to Makarov. Centered to Larionov. Rossbourg blocked the shot. And the rebound is poked wide. Crossman for Canada. Krutov standing right in front of the net, keeping an eye on him, but Crossman beats Gartner, and Gartner slides the puck into the Soviet zone. Delno, number 4, back together. Ahead to Larionov, into Kamensky, but broken up by Bourque and shot to center, and Patrick tips it into the Soviet zone. Gusarov back after it. Cleared it, knocked down by Murphy. And now the Soviets with Fedotov. Gilmore checked him. Gilmore giving it to Patrick. Now ahead to Goulet. Goulet against Gusarov, and he whips the shot high. Up into the crowd.
4 minutes, 53 seconds gone. There's Valery Kamensky. He was great at Rendezvous. He scored only 13 goals in 37 games in the Soviet Union last year. But he made his year in Quebec City in the second game of Rendezvous when he scored those two important goals and then that great goal to tie up the game the other night against Team Canada. Sent it into overtime. He has just been a phenomenal player. Keep saying he's not strong enough, but he's got the great shot. As a matter of fact, I asked Grant Fuhr who the toughest shot to deal with on this team. He says Kamensky. Well, his teammates say that Kruzov's got the quickest release. The most dangerous shot, says Fuhr, is Kamensky.
Here are the Soviets. Semyonov, number 30, breaking down. Semyonov is checked, and Hartsburg chops the puck out of there. Soviets go back and get it. Kasatonov, number 7. To Lomakin. He leaves it. Gusarov to Semak. Now to Lomakin. Leaving it for Semak right through his skates, and Rick Tocchet comes back for Canada. Tocchet dumping it in. It's all the way back out to center. Hartsburg waits for his team to get onside and drills it back in. Semyonov, number 30 for the Soviets. Gretzky into forecheck, gives it to Fetisov. Now to Kumalek, number 8. Gretzky checks into Lemieux. Lemieux over to Bourque, who pinches in. Back of the net to Gretzky. Back to Bourque, and Ryakin had it. Gretzky held it in to Murphy. Into Lemieux, shoots. Big save again by Melnikov. That time on Lemieux. Dolan center to Gretzky. Backhander shot it wide. Oh, Gretzky with a brilliant opportunity. Here's Imalap moving back. Long shot and Fuhr shot back. Now Gretzky to Brian Propp. And Propp fires it in. Melnikov didn't appear to see it. Here's Gretzky. In behind the net. Chopped away by Nemchinov. Held in by Anderson to Gretzky behind the goal. Looking for Lemieux. Lemieux well covered. Gretzky will come out himself. Turn, shoots. Melnikov got a stick on it. Here's Anderson. They have Lemieux tied up in knots at the side of the net. Here's Makarov. Tied up by Gretzky, but gets away. Now Nemchinov, number 12. Leaves for Krutov. Gretzky tried to steal it. Here's Gusarov. Firing it in. Crossman for Canada. Back he comes with Messier. Messier shoots from a bad angle. Melnikov the save. Bodies fly everywhere. And we got to stop it.
People are always amazed at Wayne Gretzky's staying power. He just had a shift that lasted longer than 2 minutes. And yet at the tag end of it, he was still doing things. Just missed the net, and right there with Mario Lemieux, he was going to steer that in with his hand if he could have. That was up on edge. The reason Gretzky didn't get good wood on it or a good angle on it. But what a long shift he had, and yet at the end he still had the power and the stamina to make a good scoring play.
That was Gartner from the faceoff that Melnikov stopped, and Bourque beats Messier. Bekov tying him up. Messier beating Gartner. Pass behind Goulet. Homatov starts back, got it into the zone, still has it. Homatov to Gusarov. Hook check by Bourque. Homatov to Kamensky. Bourque takes him out. Fuhr knocking it back of the net, and Murphy has it for Canada. He goes out the other way and gives it to Bourque. And Bourque flips it to center. Fedotov back after it. Gartner right on top of him. Gartner up, checking aggressively. Here's Gusarov. Now to Fedotov. In comes Howard-Chuck. Fedotov beats Kamensky. Now to Bekov. Messier took him out. Howard-Chuck getting it in. Soviets. Bekov trying to work it free, and Lomakin drops it back. Gusarov under pressure as Canada coming in to try and forecheck and rush the Soviets, and it's been working. Here's Semyonov breaking up. Long shot. Fuhr, a glove save on that. Clears it up for the boards. Canada with a flip pass to Sutter that hopped over his stick. Semyonov trying to come back and copy. Has it for Canada. Into center ice. Here's Sutter to Tocchet, and they whistle it down on a two-line offside pass.
Look at the point system or situation as far as this game is concerned. The top point man is Larry Murphy. He has a goal and 2 assists. Tocchet with a goal and an assist. So has Propp, and so has Sutter and Hawerchuk. Not the names you would expect.
Here's Coffey for Canada. Canada leading 5-4. 11 minutes, 10 seconds left in regulation time. Here's Lemieux to Propp behind the net. Propp couldn't get it centered, and Kasatonov feeding one out too far ahead for Humalev. Going back to Sparksburg, and they wave the icing off to the Soviet linesman. Here's Humalev into the corner. Canada come up with it, and Propp is able to chip it out of there. And Fetisov goes back. Canada making a wholesale change on the fly. Puck cleared out. Here's Larionov. Larionov moving in, taken out of the play by Crossman. Makarov with the puck. He gets tied up. Now shot around on the boards. Crossman for Canada, able to scoop it out of there. And Makarov goes hustling back for the Soviets. Messier right on his tail. 2 players collide. Here's Makarov to Kurutov. Now Makarov into the corner. Centered. And Messier chips it into center ice. Delno back after it for the Soviets. And Gusarov takes over to Larionov. Larionov flipping it into center ice. The Crossman for Canada to Normand Rochefort. Now to Gartner. He just lets it go, and here comes Doug Gilmour for Canada. Leaves it for Gartner with a drive off the glass. Bourque behind the net to Gartner. Gartner trying to center. Flips it into the corner for Gilmour. He and Fedotov battle for it. Soviets come up with it, and Gusarov cleared it into center ice. 9.5 minutes left in the third period. Here's Canada with Goulet putting himself offside as he carried it in behind him.
The hardest thing in the world is to get off to a bad start and then try to get your game right. Doug Crossman has recovered beautifully after he had his early problems in this game. That's known as playing the man. And Larionov flattened on the play.
Here's Canada with a line of Gilmour, Lemieux, and Goulet. Canada with a 5-4 lead. 9:20 left in regulation time. Bekov for the Soviets with a line, but Bourque breaks it up to Lemieux. Lemieux to Gilmour. Gilmour flipping it through. Fetisov back to get it. Now Fetisov can't get away from Lemieux. Here's Bekov trying. Stick handling neatly. Bekov moving it in, broken up in the defense, and Goulet clears to Lemieux. Lemieux couldn't get around Fetisov. And now covering up for Canada. Bourque to Goulet. Into Lemieux. Lemieux cutting in, shoots one. Off the skate and just wide. Goulet to Lemieux. Lemieux back to Goulet. Goulet put it through the crease. Here's Lemieux. To Goulet. Sutter alone in front, but he couldn't get it to him. Now Sutter comes in. Canada forced a face-off in the Soviet zone. 8:32 left in regulation time.
Now to Michel Goulet in deep forechecking. And again, it produced a flurry around the net. The game is being played for a good part down in the Soviet end. So the old adage, a good defense is a good offense. Canada, again, I can't stress how confidently Canada is playing here in the third period.
They have outshot the Soviets here in the third period, 10-4. Now, Kravchuk and Sutter from the faceoff tie each other up. And we'll get another faceoff deep in the Soviet zone.
Brent Sutter in this game has a goal and an assist. By the way, if you're Gretzky Lemieux fans, each has a point, each an assist. They've not been as dominant in this game on the score sheet, although they've certainly had their opportunities and have handled the puck a lot.
Both Gretzky and Lemieux have missed great chances here in this third period. Here's Tocchet knocking it off the board. Semyonov checked by Sutter. He kicks it back to Coffey, who cleared it to center. Now Lomakin. He's bumped off the puck by Hawerchuk. Tocchet to Hawerchuk, who fires it in. Tocchet chipping it into Sutter. Sutter and Semyonov battle for it. Look at Tocchet grind behind the net to Sutter. Trying to get it in front. Lomakin is there. Now to Semyonov, number 30. Over to Semak. Moving in. Trying to get it to Lomakin. Howard Chuck had him tied up. Now center to shot. They score! Semak ties this game up with 7:39 left in regulation time.
So what else is new? Semak getting a puck right in front of the net. Semyonov being tied up by Coffey, and they kind of a collision there as Howard Chuck went with him. And the puck just rolled past Fuhr. Semak closing in tight. Puck bouncing off the boards. Everybody giving chase, and that little pick allowed the forward to scoot behind the net and slip it back out in front. And Semak has scored. He was the one who scored the game winner in overtime in game 1 of this series. So here we are, 7:39 left in regulation time, a 5-5 tie.
Here is Gartner dropping it to Rochefort, to Crossman. Back for Rochefort. Into center ice off of Anderson's skate. Now Anderson shooting it in. And Fedotov goes back to pick it up. Fedotov trying to clear it. Anderson held it in. To Messier. Shot away by the Soviets. And here comes number 8, Yuri Humalak. Moving in. Trying to go around Rochefort. Humalak into the corner. Messier for Canada. Out to Mike Gartner. Gartner checked by Fedotov. Gets it again, but then the play is offside at the Soviet blue line. 7:03 left in regulation time. 5-5, Canada and the Soviets. Canada dumping it in, but Tisov back to get it. Tocchet knocked him down, but he moved it to Larionov, and here come the Soviets. 3-on-3 break to Makarov. Makarov cutting in. Makarov right in, backhander wide. And Gilmore quickly moves it to Sutter. Sutter to center ice, to Tocchet, but Tisov knocks it down. But Tisov in across the line, tipped back out by Sutter. And Canada with Tocchet clearing down the ice. Here's number 2, Fetisov. Flipping it out, Murphy knocks it down to Gretzky. Gretzky cutting in. Jack Lemieux held it in, but now Bekov back for the Soviets. They head to Kamensky. Kamensky trying to cut through. Arnsberg tied him up. Now Bekov behind the net. Gretzky has him in tow, and Lemieux comes up with it. Out to Gretzky. Gretzky with Tromp and Coffey to center. Pass to Coffey. Breaking in. Coffey couldn't get around the defenseman. Delno.